Shalom, Yashrala. This is your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And citation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here article real quick. They just passed this stimulus, right? And, people think that this economy and everything is still somewhat, people that's on the lower level. I'm speaking of these. It's a good thing when they get these stimulus checks, but they don't realize that, that's just further devaluing your spending power. All right. So it says inflation soaring. Did we freeze? It says with inflation soaring, bottom will fall out of U.S. dollar and gold leadership tells boom bust, right? And it says with the jab rollouts and stimulus optimism lifted stock markets this week, while gold prices have taken a hit as volatility has begun to wane. Peter Schiff of Euro Pacific Capital joins boom bust. All right, now when we get into the scriptures, talk about the keepers of the house, these people that's in the know of what's going on as far as how finances really work, on a large scale. This is what these people do. And these people are the one that are warning of these things. Your everyday Jake that you see walking around is getting these stimulus checks and happy about that, happy about their tax return checks. These people are nowhere in the know about these things. They think everything is good, But it says Peter Schiff of Euro Pacific joins boom bust with the analysis of the recent price movement for the precious metal in the U.S. Economic recovery. The markets still believe that the Fed that it will be able to contain inflation problem before it really runs out of control, says Schiff, adding, so it's the expectation that the Fed is going to fight inflation by raising rates. That's what's pressuring gold. But in reality, there's a lot of things that's really tanking this here economy over here, man. All right. Because these nations just seeing America print money and everything like that, man. All right, they're trying to find a way to get up off of, basically America's arm. They're looking towards Russia, all right, for a lot of these things and everything like that. So they're trying to get away from having to use that American dollar, which is like the petrodollar, trading oil and things like that. Because look, America's over here constantly devaluing their dollar, man. All right. It says, however, the markets are wrong. The veteran stockbroker says, explaining the Fed is not going to even attempt to fight inflation. It's going to surrender. Inflation is going to win without a fight. And when the markets realize that the Feds is all bark and no bite, and that inflation is going to be even a bigger problem, that it's going to be uncontrollable, and the bottom's going to fall out in the dollar and gold, the bottom's going to fall out of the dollar and gold going through the roof, and gold's going through the roof. All right. And so what, again, with these people, like I said, let's grab scriptures. This is Ecclesiastes 12. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. All right. Now, we just seen a year like that where in 2020, the Most High had shut everything down and people was forced to sit at home and humble themselves, right? Well, going back into round two of this whole thing, they don't realize, again, like I said, with this hyper spending or hyper stimulus writing, you know what I mean? And all this extra spending like this, it's just devaluing the money. And plus these other nations, they're all positioning themselves to, again, detach themselves from this here place, Babylon. All right. This is the end of this place, man. All right. They're just going to spin themselves into oblivion. But ultimately, with the devaluation of this, we also know that they're going to come in with this RFID chip. All right. And we're going to get to that. It says, verse 2, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened or the clouds return after the rain, and the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble and the strong men shall bow themselves. All right. Because like it was just going into, Peter Schiff and those other guys like that. These people understand and know about the markets and financial things like that on the large scale, on a governmental wide scale, not like your personal finances, but for an entire government. And they see and understand what America's been doing to their dollar, man. All right, stimulus package after stimulus package, trillions after trillions just spent, recklessly, not really to do anything, but just to prop up this so-called economy. They had quantitative easing one, quantitative easing two, three, and four, and quantitative easing infinity, basically. So and what that is them injecting money into the system because they were already bankrupt. And just to give you on a smaller scale, what that's like is you'd have maxed out your credit cards and they didn't give you a higher limit. You know what I mean? You got a little bit more buying power now, but you still owe that money, and then now you paying more on interest. So it's really devaluing your actual spending power. All right, but nevertheless, this is what the end all be all is coming for America, man. Liquidating this place. All right, getting people away from that that idea of having actual money in your hand to what is going to ultimately be a digital chip. All right, and then another thing that I forgot what the guy's name was. He was running, the Asian guy that was running for president. He introduced this here term, universal basic income. All right, and this is pretty much what you used to keep getting these stimulus checks for just sitting at home. All right, but then soon they're going to be distributing them through what your jab verification. All right, digital tracking system that they got, and ultimately it's going to come together with this here chip, man. All right, and we're going to get that. It says Ecclesiastes 12:3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened, and the door shall be shut in the streets. All right, when the sound of grinding is low. All right, so again, these people that are, the movies, all right, and these financial people, they know what's going on. They see that there's the jobs aren't opening back up. They're shifting from a what they call a brick and mortar to a online platform to selling everything, and everything is going app based, everything going to delivery to you. So they're switching up a whole system. But hey, this is Esau trying to fulfill his kingdom, all right, but it's not going to come to play, man. All right, it says, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the window be darkened, and the doors are shut in the street when the sound of grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, like I said, this functionally this economy is done for, man. They sold off all the factory jobs and the production jobs. They depend on these other nations through their petrodollar, all right, to get goods from them. They'll get the goods from them, all right. Well, first, the other countries need to move or transport oil, and then they need the American dollar, so they'll get the American dollar. But America don't want those dollars back. They want that much in goods, basically. But hey, they trying to cut them off right now, because America's devaluing everybody else's currency by devaluing their currency. All right, you have a situation popping off right now in Lebanon over that. All right, but let's grab Revelation real quick. We can close out. All right, because ultimately, let me grab a precept real quick. This is Job 5:12. He disappointed the device of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. So, like I said, Esau got a lot of plans going at play right now. He's got the pandemic to beguile people and keep their mind focused on that, and they can introduce so many different things. You can't forget about like this time last year when Trump was signing orders to expedite the setting up of the 5G system. All right, now they're getting everybody. Their minds are already how do I say conditioned that they're gonna jab everybody with that that physical jab. All right, and then so what? They're also prepping the people with this universal basic income and getting these stimulus checks. All right, but they're just spinning to oblivion until what the like the article said, the dollar falls out completely, man. All right, and then you're gonna need a new currency. All right, this is the system that Esau's trying to set up right now. All right, I'm just gonna try to keep this short, but let me grab this real fast. Job 20 and verse 20. 2 and 3. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eaten. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. So, let's just deal with the iron weapon first. All right. This is Well, let me just start at the top. All right. So basically, when he's about to fulfill his New World Order plan, all right, he trying to roll out, Operation Warp Speed. Let's jab, 100 million people. All right, now let's just get, enough jabs to jab the whole population and get them all jabbed up before the end of the year is over, right? Also, again, we see him with his currency, his new type of currency, cryptocurrencies and things like that. These digital currencies, predictively programming the people to put their money into something like that. But hey, you know, Esau think he's slick, but the Most High has already got him pointed out, and revealed unto the masses. All right. So, but nevertheless, when he's about to fulfill his, his plans of implementing his new world order, let's just go ahead and close out with that. This is when when his end is gonna come. He's gonna be drawn out for World War III. All right. This is Revelation 13, verse 16. And this is, how we know that this is the plan that's going out throughout the whole four corners of the earth right now. This is prophecy being played out because, with this here pandemic, they have, people's minds, how do I say, adapted or programmed comfortable to accept the fact that, I guess everybody gonna have to be getting jabbed up if you want to fly and travel and shop and go inside stores, get a job, you're gonna have to be jabbed up. So it's being conditioned amongst all the people around the world to what? Be conditioned to get jabbed up. And what's the next step? Which we're about to read, the mark of the beast. But this is again how we know this is part of prophecy, because it says in Revelation 13 and 16, he calls it all, right? And again, we're under a global uh state of mind and conditioning for them to push out mandates globally, where the whole globe is just like, all right, cool, ain't no country is kind of defiant about that. Like, well, who is causing these rules to come from top down? The globe don't work as one single unit. But see, this is Esau pushing his plan. All right, everybody got to get this here, this jab and everything like that, and we got to keep spending money. People got to stay at home until what we can convert people over. Right? It says he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So just reading back through that, it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. All right, to receive a mark. All right. And, not to make this video too long, we've gone into, these words, a lot of times, but just going into, causing all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive something. All right. Now we could, in the phase that we're in right now, we could just like, well, they, um, basically causing all to receive this here jab, and actually when you go into these words, that's exactly what it means, but, it says, free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So if you're not going to be able to buy and sell unless you have this here mark, right, you're going to be pretty much out of the system. And again, as we just read through that article about how with the super inflation and these stimulus packages they keep causing a bigger bubble, man. All right, don't matter how much money you have here, these millionaires gonna be looking broke pretty soon unless they do what? Convert their cash over. All right, and then leading it right into this system. Or they got, well, everybody need to get jabbed up. Let's just get it real quick while we right here. All right. Let me read it again. It says, Revelation 13, 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand on their foreheads. All right. So remember, to make all these different people, basically everybody, all right, like a global mandate to receive something. Now let's go to this word mark, charagma. An imprinted mark, the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist, or a mark branded upon horses, a thing carved, a sculpture, a graven work, right, of idolatrous image. Going to the Strong's definition, it says a scratch or etching, a stamp, a badge of servitude, sculpture, figure, a graven mark, right? So let's go further into it. Now remember, it was a scratch or a mark, right? So this is going into the word karax. It says, from karaxo, to sharpen to a point akin to G1125, through the idea of scratching, like a pail or a stake or a palisade. So like you think about like a railroad steak or something like that. It's that it has a sharp tip. Or somebody make a like a steak out of cartoons. You see the people with the little wood and they sharpen it down, pretty much like a pencil shape. All right, kind of like a syringe, right? So it says going down to Strong's definition, to sharpen to a point through the idea of scratching a stake by implication, or a palisade, or idea of scratching. All right, so they're gonna wind up and sharpen to a point, right? But nevertheless, this is what they're trying to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive. All right, let's go into this word as well. All right, going into this here word for stigma. All right, this word for stigma, all right, comes from the primary word stizo, to stick or to prick. A mark pricked in, all right, just like with that syringe, all right, they can prick you in your skin, all right, with that uh charagma, all right, basically like sharpened to a point with that syringe like device. A mark pricked in or branded upon the body. In ancient Orient usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were given even some devotees who stamped this way themselves in this way with the token to their god. All right. So again, going into the Strongs, to stick, to prick, a mark, incise, or punch for recognition of ownership. All right, a scar of service. But hey, nevertheless, the scriptures clearly tell us about these things, man. And we see this is exactly what Esau is doing, causing everybody, globally to wind up having to get these here jabs, man, which is going to lead ultimately to what? The mark of the beast. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and I root well. And salutation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Shalom.